Happy New Year. What's up, everybody? Welcome to our first shop talk of 2026. I'm like, what is the actual day? Welcome to the first shop talk of 2026. I am your host, as always, Lindsay Johnson, aka the Radical Connector. If you're new around here, we talk about all things entrepreneurship, playing big in your business, personal growth. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit about my top 5 business tips for growth in 2026. We're going to get into the things that you need to really be thinking about and focused on to get that engine turned on in your business, to get yourself growing. So I have to laugh because guys, it's been a wonderful holiday season, and it was truly equal parts resting, playing with friends, training at powerlifting, and also getting work done behind the scenes. And it's really funny when I look at how much I actually got accomplished because I don't know how I got so much accomplished over my only 3 weeks holiday. For those who know, I usually go on 4 weeks of holiday during the holiday season, and also in August I usually take 4 months off. But friends, it has been so dang busy. It has been so busy. The since the pandemic hit, my busy seasons and slow seasons have really shifted. I'm curious if yours have too. And that means that I have to adjust my holidays ever so slightly because I am that busy. But I'm laughing because and welcome if you're just joining us. We're just kind of getting things rolling here while we wait for folks to come on. But that has meant that I have to, I don't know. I like to come back to work feeling bored almost. Do you know what I mean? You know when you take so much holiday that you like can't wait, like you're kind of bored. Anyways, that's what I usually am, feeling bored and ready to go. And I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I could have used 1 more week. I would have taken 1 more week. However, it was still a really restful holiday season. You'll notice that I literally disappear. Literally disappear. I do not exist. I don't email. I barely post on social media. And if that, it's usually like my powerlifting pictures or something from a Christmas party or something. I really go inward. Anyone else do that over the holiday season, specifically the winter holiday season? Like, I don't exist. And I'm going to talk about some of the updates that are happening for the Radical Connector this year. Truly, it is a new year, new Radical Connector. So I'm excited to talk about that. But why I'm laughing is because I have the best of intentions, as always, to hit Monday and to be like, here we go. Here's what's going on. Welcome back. Let's get into it. And when I tell you, it has been so busy, like so busy. I On Tuesday, I had a 2-hour nap in the middle of the afternoon. On Wednesday, I went to bed at 8 p.m. Last night, I went to bed at 9:30 p.m. Apparently, those 3 weeks off was enough for me not to be now used to the volume of meetings and strategy sessions and calls and things. Anyway, so I'm super late. I guess my new year, new Radical Connector is going to come out maybe tomorrow, maybe on Monday. Even for our shop talk today. I'm so sorry. I didn't even send the reminder out till this morning. Oh my goodness. So I hope for those in the community that you are having the shop talks in your calendar. They're the last Friday, no, the second Friday of every month at 10 a.m. Pacific. So put it in your calendar. So if I ever forget to send it out or I'm late sending out, you're still here. You're not missing it. Anyways, friends, welcome. Who's on with us today? Happy New Year. I kind of expect it to be maybe a little bit less busy than it normally is just because I'm so late getting this out. But what's up? Who's here? What's going on? What are you up to? Mm. While you're saying your hellos, I'll kind of keep sharing some of the updates. So for those who follow me on social media and those in my world, you'll know that I had a bit of a like a breakdown, but like a gentle one, a gentle one. But I kind of lost my mind a little bit in the beginning of Q4 last year. Hey Baron, how's it going? Hi, what's up? But I kind of lost my mind. Hey, hang on. What? Caitlin, what's up? Hi, welcome. I lost my mind because I found myself incredibly frustrated trying to convince business owners to do the things that business owners have to do. And I had some rather negative sort of like encounters or, people sort of like either sort of projecting their emotional stuff on me or people, asking for a lot of labor, like, with questions that quite frankly are inappropriate. They should be asking to buy my time, not asking me to just kind of give all these in-depth answers. But I'm giving them their answers and not receiving thank you notes or thank you emails or even a hey, here's a coffee shop card. Thank you so much for your time and attention on this. And then I had hosted an event that people had RSVP to, and then no one showed up for it. It was a big 4-hour strategy session that no one had shown up for, even though I had been sending multiple reminder emails, prep emails, people had RSVP'd, and it just a complete waste of my time and disrespected my time. And I really just hit this wall of people's lack of professionalism, courtesy, emotional regulation, and personal responsibility, communication. You guys, I came on Instagram and I was like, y'all broke me. I am broken. I am broken and I'm tired of wanting your business to succeed more than you do. And so I head into the holiday season really thinking about the types of entrepreneurs that I want to work with and the types of entrepreneurs that are just not ready to work with me. And if I were to give a bit of tough love, I would say probably aren't ready to actually be business owners. They probably should go and have a job, something secure that can pay their bills and maybe just treat their business as more of a hobby for now until they get there, sort of like mentally, right? So what that looked like was, I don't know, a whole bunch of internal changes for myself. Internal like things I'm leaving in 2025. And so I made myself a bit of a list that I wanted to share right now. And I would love for you to share what you're leaving in 2025 and how you're stepping up your own mentality in 2026, right? Because that's going to be the biggest part to succeeding this year. It's going to be what's happening up here, right? So here's some of mine. Please start writing some of yours in the chat so I can share them as well. I was gonna say, I guess you can't DM me, can you? I'm like, if you don't want them public, then maybe just write them down for yourself. Don't put them in the chat. Just write them down. But otherwise, put them in the chat. Okay, so here's mine. First of all, my word of the year is focus. And I'd love to hear your word of the year. Focus has been a challenging thing for me in the past few years because, and I've talked about this before. So again, share your word of the year with us in the chat. I feel like since the pandemic hit, the shift from growing my own business kind of stopped and started focusing on where I was helping other people, whether it was clients, people in the community, other organizations. I seem to always be working in other people's businesses or organizations, and my own business kind of stopped. And we're going to talk a lot about that today as well. But understanding that there's a difference between selling and growing a business, right? Getting sales is a part of business growth, but getting sales is not growing a business, right? Growing a business includes other things: hiring, setting up systems, looking at how we are scaling what we are doing, how we are replacing ourselves, right? And so the sales were coming, no problem, but the business growth kind of stopped. And I really was trying to crack the code of, okay, what does the future of the radical connector look like? Where do I even want to take it? Right. And so that little break that I had, I mean, the mental break, not the holiday break, really helped me get clear on who I want to work with, what I want to be doing, but also really get clear on like where the real root of the problem is for service-based providers and their business growth trajectory. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. But it's like for the first time in years, guys, probably in 5 years, I feel focused. And I'm like, all right, we are focused, we are going, we know what we're doing. So I'd love to hear your word of the year. I'm going to read some of those. Then I'm going to go into our list of what we're leaving behind. What's up, Leonie? How are you feeling? How are you feeling today after our strategy session? Baron, good. Trying to settle. Hope to start MVP, but first I want to make sure my clients sign up, the ones that said that they said yes. Okay, perfect. I love it. MVP, for those who don't know, minimum viable product. So minimum viable product is do you have enough of something that you can sell it? It's about not waiting for things to be perfect, getting something that's a minimum viable product that you can sell and start selling it. Baron, yeah, I agree. Sometimes I feel when you're working with some people, you feel that same thing, right? Oh, your word of the year is try. I love that. Here's the thing that's really cool with the word of the year too, is that I find as the year progresses, the word kind of like gets deeper and then deeper and then deeper, and it kind of expands what it means. Who's this? Alex. Others are waiting in the other link from the email and community. Okay. I don't know what that means. I don't know what happened there. If for some reason you can't get on, friends, just come to my YouTube channel and click where it says I'm live. I don't know why there would be a link difference. I'll have to look into that. Thank you for letting me know. Is the growth as an expansion, like expanding service and such? Great question. Great question. So, scaling a business is not about selling more or creating more offers or working harder, right? Business growth and scaling is about how we're hiring people power to help us accomplish more, how we're systemizing and automating our operations and back end so that our house is built on a stable foundation, not a house deck of cards, right? Then one strong gust can blow over, right? So expanding services can be a part of scaling. It just depends on what the ultimate sort of vision is for a scaled business, what that looks like, and if diversified offers are a part of that, right? But generally, in the early stage, scaling business is not about creating more offers because the more offers you have to sell, the if it's still just you doing the selling and doing the delivery, actually the slower your business goes and the more you're going to get stuck in burnout, in what I call the hustle hamster wheel. Sell, deliver, sell, deliver, sell, deliver, sell, deliver for years, right? So yes, diversifying your offers can be a part of your scaling strategy, but that comes at a specific point in the scaling journey. And we're going to talk about that today. You feeling really good. Fantastic. Alex, working on community and membership. Heck yes. Caitlin, word of the year, empowerment and forward movement. Flow. Oh, hang on. Sorry. I wanted to share the stream. Sorry, guys. There we go. Now we got our comments. Got our comments coming. Oh, and hi. Hey, welcome, Paddle. What are you doing? Yes, I hear there was two links I shared. I'm so sorry for that. Thank you for finding your way here. I don't know what happened. Yeah, I'll figure it out. Or I won't. Like I said, friends, if one link doesn't work, just come and find me. I'm here. Baron, like I'll start next week and stuff. Yeah. Mostly ready, but people are still have not signed up yet. And you guys, you're killing me with the lack of punctuation. Do a little proofread before you hit send, okay? I'm going to do ads this year for the first time ever because I can afford it, but not hiring a VA. All right, that is potentially the wrong order to do things. But I would need to talk more. But welcome, Paddle. Let's connect on that, because that might be the wrong order to do things. I'm not going to get into it now. But that's something we can get into hot seat business coaching and talk about at the end of the month. Yeah. Okay. But that might be the wrong order. I don't really quickly. Doing ads, before you put money on ads, you have to make sure that your sales funnels are working. So the right people are getting in, right? They're signing up, they're going through your email sequence, they're making a purchase, right? You have to make sure that your actual funnel is working. And generally you do that before you start spending money on amplifying that. So that's things like your creative, your copy, the offer, right? Like the actual marketing strategy, because ads aren't a marketing strategy. Ads are just how you amplify your marketing strategy. Okay. And so when you're doing ads, generally you can expect a 3 to 6 month money out, but not necessarily sales in. So you have to have a chunk of money that you're okay with just letting go of, right? And again, doing ads is very technical. It's a very skill-based technical thing, and requires like constant monitoring and improvement and tweaking, right? And so if you're going to do ads, you're either going to hire an ads expert and you're going to say, here is my effective, high converting working funnel. Let's amplify it, right? Or you're going to do ads yourself, which means you're not going to be doing sales because you're going to be doing mostly ads. And so you have to make sure those, like you've got enough buffer of incoming inbound sales or revenue or income so that you can slow down on your business development to focus on ads. Ads is an advanced strategy. So make sure that your business is primed and ready. And also, whatever thousands that you're going to kind of put into your ads initially that may not have a return, you're prepared to just and not lose if you're not losing it because it's a part of your ad research, but make sure that you're prepared to not expect a return immediately. As I said, ads is an advanced strategy. So so just make sure that you are ready for that, okay? MVP start next week, but clients verbally said yes, have not signed up formally. Okay, perfect, wonderful. Yeah, so we want to get those sales. Okay, so let's talk about what I'm leaving behind in 2025. And I want to hear what you're leaving behind in 2025. So, number one, other people's drama. Other people's drama. I am staying out of y'all's business. I am staying out of other people's businesses. I'm staying, and I mean like your business, like not your business, but like I'm staying out of your business. My mind and my P's and Q's. I'm out of your drama. I'm out of other people's drama. There's something going on. All right, work with it. It's not for me. I'm staying out of your drama. I was chatting with a client this week, and they were having somebody who was going to do some services for them for free, complimentary, but was having some stuff happening in their family. And so that was making them unresponsive. And so they weren't able to get their work done for my client, but they kept saying they're going to, but they were unresponsive. And my client has been chasing them for months and is super stressed about this little thing, and it's preventing them from doing other things in their business. And so I was like, that is an example of being other people's drama. They're having drama in their life because they kind of have said, I want to support them. It's a woman-owned business. I want to support them. That is drama. Okay. We all have drama. We all have it. I'm not judging the drama. We all have it. But by putting things on pause and herself carrying the emotional of that drama and it negatively impacting the business, right? That is getting involved in other people's drama. You have to say, as a business, I need to make a business decision that's going to serve my business, not hurt it. Now is not the time to engage this person's services because they don't have the capacity. I need to go over here. Right. And I had said to her, we have to stop setting ourselves on fire to keep other people warm. And so you may want to support a small or like a small business, a woman-owned business. There are lots of small woman-owned businesses who do this service. This person is not at a place in their life where they can handle it, have the capacity to do it. So we have to deal with the reality, not the sort of fantasy or wishful thinking, right? And so it's like, no, you need to move on, right? And if that person wants to, when they've got it sorted out and they want to come back, you can re-engage in if you want, right? So this idea of staying out of other people's drama, what does that look like for you? For me, that is, I have my life to live, my friends and family to take care for, my business to build, and if other people's drama is affecting that, I need to step away. I'm not getting involved, right? What are your thoughts on that? The next thing is, I already said this, not setting myself on fire to keep other people warm. That's something that I really, again, I want you to check with. So it was funny because my client had said, I've heard you say this a million times, but this is the first time I've actually, I get it now. I get it. Right. And this, by the way, it's on I share this quote and the author who came up with that quote on my website under my values. Hang on, in the about section. Let me get the book, the author. It's a fiction. It's a fiction book. It's not where is it? Where is it? Oh, maybe I don't share it there. Where do I share it? Hang on. Okay, I share it somewhere. I share it somewhere on my about page or on my website. Anyway, this concept of not Like, not doing things that are detrimental. I'm gonna talk specifically to the business right now, okay? Your personal life is your personal life, but your business. Not doing things that are detrimental to your business. Putting that on other people so that if they don't deliver, if they don't come through, if they mess it up, your business is affected. I want you to leave that behind, okay? So another thing I'm leaving behind is convincing business owners that you have to do business owner activities. And I want you to think about that from your own perspective as what you do in your work. Um, Lacey, are you on? I know we talked about this last year for yourself, right? About convincing convincing organizations that they need to be inclusive of all sensory sort of sensitivities or neurotypes, right? I'm doing the same. Where am I convincing entrepreneurs that they have to be entrepreneurs? No, I'm not convincing. It's okay if you don't wanna be one. If you don't wanna do the work, that's fine, but I'm not getting caught up in the drama. So where might you be in that stuck in that place of convincing other people around the type of work that you do? Where can you shift to? I'm just looking for the people that get it and want it, not the people I have to convince. And like I said, friends, I'm not perfect. I teach you these things and it can be right in front of me and I'm totally missing it too, right? Next, frustration at wanting it more for others than they do for themselves. I was feeling so frustrated. I felt like that. I don't know if you guys, it's an old school meme of that like outline of a person pushing something with a stick. Like I felt like it's like, come on, come on, come on. Where do you feel like you're pushing people with a stick, saying, come on, come on? You cannot want it more for others than they want it for themselves. You just can't. What else? Playing small so I don't intimidate others. Oh my god, we hear that a lot in, like, romantic relationships or even in friendships. But where in your business might you be playing small so you don't intimidate others? Next one, lead by example, not pandering. When I say pandering, there's a lot of people out there trying to sell you a course on you don't have to work hard. You don't have to do, oh my god, the most hilarious one, how to sell without doing a sales call. Okay? You don't got to do a sales call. You don't got to work hard. You don't got to do this. You don't got to do that. All you got to do are these really simple things, nah. Those people are trying to sell you something. It's not true. Building a business is hard AF. Takes a lot of work, a lot of growth, right? I'm leading by example. I'm not gonna keep saying, "Oh, sure. Oh, nah, those people are trying to sell you something. It's not real." Okay, the other one, the last one for me. Social media. I don't have the apps on my phone. I'll put them on real quick to upload some stuff and then I take them back off. I don't have social media on my phone. I'm not scrolling social media. I'm not giving it my time and attention. When I tell you getting off social media makes me feel less hopeless, more hopeful, less depressed, more optimistic and functional, right? Less lethargic and tired. I have more initiative, more energy, right? Less angry and frustrated, more at peace and content. There are so many videos and studies and books about the harms of social media from the level of addiction, right? And dependency, the lack of focus and attention span, the poor mental health, being in a constant state of nervous system regulation, dysregulation, anger, fear. When you get off the apps, you get your life back. And I've been off the apps now for, well, I'm not off them, but I don't put them on my phone. I don't scroll. And I'll tell you that if I'm like, oh, maybe I'm going to scroll this morning in bed on a Saturday morning, I feel like garbage for the next few days. And it's so insidious and hidden. You don't even notice it, right? So that's your thing. I'm not giving social media my apps, my time, my mental health, my joy, anything, my creativity. Because when you're off the apps, the world's a better place. The world is a way better place because we're not getting fed the most terrible of people, you know? So what about you? Let's hear. Let's hear some of yours. Let's hear some of your leaving behind. Yes, I'm leaving behind hustle, forcing myself to rest, like for real, legit. Rest is a part of your business plan. It needs to be. Like I said, I take off 2 months every year, and then I throughout the months in between those, I take off chunks of time. Need to rest. Also, like I stopped working at a certain time. That's it. If stuff didn't get done on my to-do list, it doesn't get done. I don't keep pushing myself. Now, to be fair, I'm at that point that I can do that. Sometimes when you're in a new stage, you're going to be working a lot, especially if you have a job and are doing a business, you're going to be. So you can't maybe have every day that you only work a certain amount of time and then you close a laptop. Sometimes you have to push through and you have to get it done. You just have to. You just have to, right? But then where are you making sure to have pockets of time for yourself, right? Like I said, going to bed early. I've been going to bed early all week. Leaving behind the scarcity mindset. Yes. I love all these laughters. I don't know what they're at. I don't know what they're at, but I love them. Like that sounds sketchy, like those pyramid schemes in a way. I don't know what that's about, but sure. Yup. Yeah, true. But okay, how do you do marketing there without being lost in the feed? Like on social media? On social media, you have a marketing strategy. You post. I like a scheduler. You don't even have to go on the apps. You have a scheduler. There you go. Right? If you are wanting to look up trends and things like that, I've got I don't know if it still exists. I'll find out, but I've got a business friend that has a trend membership where she shares trends every single like week, I think. She shares trends for all the platforms with suggestions on how to use the trends, right? Although again, the thing with using trends in social media is it's entirely dependent on your audience, your business model, whether it makes sense. So again, social media marketing is nuanced and can be quite complex. And so social media marketing for a service-based business is not where I recommend you spend your time, right? It's a real low ROI for service-based businesses, for service providers. Okay, there's more effective ways than social media. Um, Whoops, I just want clarity for my role and responsibility for the business. Yeah, that's a big one, right? Having clarity. Yeah. What is my role? What is my responsibility? Well, it depends on what stage of business you're at. But if you're early stage, it's going to be salesperson. If you're early stage, it's going to be salesperson and practitioner, right? If you don't have a team, if it's just you, that's the biggest thing. When we're building a business, friends, there's so many things that a person has to do, an entrepreneur has to do. But if you're early stage and you're a team of one, literally it's sales and delivery, right? So then you have to ask yourself, okay, so how do I get sales? Well, I got to get myself connected to my ideal customer, my ideal client, right? Generally, that's going to be networking, referral partnerships, collaborations, public speaking, right? And then I got to get them onto a call, right? And so it's not social media marketer, it's not content creator, that's for dang sure, right? It's not even like CMO, chief marketing officer. It is salesperson. It is lead generator and salesperson. That's your role in the beginning. Then, as you start to get sales, you might look at doing things like hiring like people who can replace you and do your work, right? Or you're going to look at hiring admin assistants who can take off the admin off your plate so that you can spend more time selling, right? Let me show you this. So here, you know what? I'm going to show you this page. I'm going to show you a little bit about some of the updates happening here with the Radical Connector, and then we're going to get into our topic. I got our 5 things. 5 things we're going to be doing. Hang on, what does this say? I have a team, but sometimes feels like they do content, but then the rest is just like, yeah, you do that in a way they are not closers, in a way I don't know. Yeah, that's a bigger conversation, Baron. So that's something that if you ever want to chat about, we can chat about. That's a bigger conversation than we can do now. Caitlin, what does this say? The public speaking. No. One of the things that I pride myself on, friends, is that I turn all y'all who are freaked out by public speaking into public speakers. Because I help you fall in love with it and fall. You know why? Because falling in love with public speaking, friends, is falling in love with yourself. Yeah. And so I pride myself in helping you fall in love with yourself. Yeah. And your brilliance and your amazingness. All right. New year, new Radical Connector. The scaling agency for service-based businesses. It's a change. It's a change, right? It's no longer just focused on selling, on getting sales. I really am looking for the service-based business owners who want to unapologetically build a sustainable, scalable business. move beyond self-employment, move beyond practitioner and doing everything themselves into having a business. And so the scale sooner success system. This is what I have been working with people on, moving people through for years. And it was really fun to get to put this together over the holidays to really think about what that path is. Because what's happening is that service-based businesses are not scaling soon enough. Right? And most of the information that's out there for service-based business, or sorry, most of the information out there for scaling a business is not for service-based businesses. It is for techs, for startups, for retail, for manufacturing, for food and bev. It is not for the graphic designer, the life coach, the personal trainer, right? It's not for the person who is trading a service in exchange for money. All right. The marketing person, the social media manager, the podcast editor, right? Those things, the business advice that's out there, right? It goes towards the companies that generally will take on some sort of investment, right? Outside capital. Maybe they are applying for funds and grants, right? Something that's going to help them scale their product, right? You yourself are not scalable. An investor is not going to give you, $1 million in return for a certain amount of a return on his investment or their investment based on your graphic design business. Okay. That's not how it works. And so unfortunately, most like books and podcasts and like conferences and accelerators and programs are not geared towards the service-based business and that scaling journey. And so what's happening, and this is what I've been observing and really kind of again fighting against, is entrepreneurs, our service-based entrepreneurs, are going to those things and then coming back and doing things like incorporating before they've ever had a client, spending time and money building out CRMs and legal thing, like all this like back end stuff that doesn't really apply to their business, or at least doesn't need to yet, right? Because they're following the wrong advice for the wrong business model. So when you're scaling a service-based business, friends, it is based on your sales, your revenue. What you bring in gets put back into the business to then hire people, get programs, get software, whatever, to help you amplify and scale. That's the missing piece for so many service-based entrepreneurs. They don't understand that they're getting the wrong advice, and they don't understand that your sales is what funds your scaling journey. And so a lot of people get stuck, what I call on the hustle hamster wheel. They sell, deliver, sell, deliver, sell, deliver. Like I said earlier, they start making new offers and just start selling more and delivering more and selling more and delivering more. And they find themselves 2, 3, 4, 5 years later, the business isn't growing. They're just getting busier. And now they're starting to go backwards because they're hitting a wall. They can't sustain that. And worse yet, because they're waiting so long to start scaling, start hiring, start kind of thinking bigger outside practitioner, they can't get out of it because they're so dang busy. They can't bust through. So I'm here to say, y'all need to start scaling sooner. So when we look at that, I'm just going to show you the 7 steps. You can go through later. I talk a little bit about why you're struggling to scale when it's just you all by yourself. There's 4 pillars of the scale sooner system. You can go through and look at that later. But what I want to show you right now is those 7 steps, right? It starts with hitting your pre-scale milestones. All right. And that's where I mostly work with folks and have mostly worked with folks in that one-on-one capacity and inside our community, right? Hitting those pre-scale milestones, selling a certain amount, doing a certain amount of speaking gigs, having a certain amount of collaborations and referrals, getting your email list to a certain point. But I want to remind you all that as service-based businesses, getting sales, doing public speaking, growing your email list, that is awesome. We love money. We love opportunities to get visible. But what we're really going for here is the data. Each successful completion of these milestones is telling us data about your business, your customer, your sales flows, right? So that we can begin to automate and scale those. The next step now is hiring admin support, right? That is the very next step. We have to clear some stuff off your plate so you can spend more time selling, continue to bring revenue in. Then we get into the automate and systemize. This is when we're now bringing in people to set up your CRMs, set up your automations, get your operations humming along. Next step is amplify what's working. This is the point that we do ads. This is the point we hire marketing agencies, we hire ads people, and we start amplify what we already know is working, knowing that we have a business system, a business structure that can support the growth. And we have admin support that can support the growth. Once we get to here, now we're able to start hiring business development people. So that's someone that does your lead gen, your sales calls, your pitches, your outreach. You're now getting off of that hamster wheel of having to do all the sales yourself. And you've got a team starting here. Then we get into step 6, replace yourself. And this is the scary stage. Because this is when folks think no one can do it as well as I can do it, but I have a way of doing it. But I love the work. I don't want to I want to do the work forever and ever and ever. The thing is, as long as your business is reliant on you doing the work, you don't have a business, you have a job, right? But don't worry, this isn't going to be next year or probably the year after. This is going to be in a few years. We're going to work you up to that, okay? But you're going to want to have people delivering the services. Because then, friends, let's say you're 5-7 years into your business, right? Now you've got such a solid system. Your business is rock solid and it is growing. You can step away and it's still going to go forward, right? And this is now where you get to diversify. You get to evolve. You get to see what's next. Because one thing I want you to consider is the incredible personal growth journey you're going to go on here. When you get to this point, you will not be the same person that you are now, right? So this is what's up. This is what's up. So I want us to get into our five things so we don't run out of time. Okay, hang on. What do we got here? Oh, the post, we did that one already. Yes, just kidding. 2026 is about the things that need to get done. You know it, Caitlin. Yes, you made those mistakes. Literally, I feel like every entrepreneur does, every service-based provider does. I want you to know that you are not alone. I'm no different. I'm like, dang it. Yep. In 2019, I started scaling. 2020, the pandemic hit. Everything changed. And I feel like myself, I've been stuck ever since, right? How do you pay yourself in that situation? In what situation? In the scaling? So great question, Baron. Another thing that entrepreneurs get into is make money, spend money, make money, spend money, make money, spend money. No, that's not how businesses are run. Your business has money coming in. You put money aside for your taxes, right? You put money, or you have money for your business expenses. You have money for your salary, the owner salary, right? And then you have what's left for profit, right? So if your business makes $1,000 a month, you're going to probably put away, maybe, I don't know, 300 maybe for taxes, right? You're going to put away, maybe you're going to spend 200 on business expenses. Maybe you're going to take, I'm trying to do the math here. Maybe you're going to take 500. No, because that would be the whole thing. Maybe you're going to take like 300 from a paycheck, and maybe you're going to put 200 away for dividends, for profit, right? You're going to build that up. So your business has money going, right? See, if your business makes $1,000, you don't get $1,000. That's not how it works, right? So if your business is making $10,000, then you get your salary increases. But guess what? So does your business expense container. That also increases. So now you can hire people, right? And then when you're making $30,000, guess what? You have more money to invest in people power, in programs, right? You get paid more. The company's making more money, right? So again, that's that. Oh, we didn't talk about that, but that founder mindset. I need y'all to get into a founder mindset, not a self-employed mindset, right? Self-employed is I do the work and I get paid and I pay my taxes at the end of the year, right? We're talking business expenses, owner salary, profit. It's a different thing. If you haven't read the book Profit First yet, I highly recommend it. I'm going to get the link for you right now. Profit first, profit first, da, 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 profit first. It's a great book. It's an easy book. It's an easy read. Check it out. All right. So hang on. What is this last question here? What if we sell services based on service based and also sell courses and mock exams? Yeah. So those would be like digital products, right? I don't understand the question. What if? What is the question? I don't. What's the question? Yeah, you sell service based and you also sell digital products. That's the business. I don't understand the question, Baron. Okay, let's get into our 5 things. Keep coming the questions. Keep them coming in. But let's get into our 5 things. Okay, our 5 tips. So tip number 1 is I want y'all focusing on one core revenue stream to sell this year. Oh, sorry, I should have put these in as little things. Whoops, didn't get there. Focus on one core revenue stream to sell. All right. I know already you're all going to either freak out or you are not hearing what I'm saying at all. Because I say it all the time. And you'll come to me with 5 different offers. And I'm going, great. What are we focused on? Well, all of them. Listen, it's okay if you have more than one offer to sell. And it's okay if people reach out to you to buy offers that you don't even sell. There's like, hey, can you do this? Hey, can you do that? You can say yes. Right? If people want to buy things that you're not necessarily focused on selling, you can sell it. I'm not saying don't sell. What I'm saying is I want you hyper focused on one core offer, right? When we talk about the pre-scale milestones here, I'm going to put the link for this into the chat right now. Hang on. Oh, my fingers. You know how my fingers aren't really working right. Pre-scale milestones. This is the quiz that's going to help you understand where you're at in terms of hitting your pre-scale milestones. The first one is selling 30 of your core offer at full price to your ideal clients. 30. We want to make sure people are purchasing and you've got good proof of concept. And if after 30 sales, you should have a really good idea, really good, strong idea of your customer's buying journey. That's when we can start now automating it, right? Ideal customer. If it's not your ideal customer who's buying your offer, something is wrong. We got to look at what's going on. Full price, no barter, no discount, no giveaway. You need to prove that people are going to pay and that you've priced yourself the right way, right? Core offer being the thing that you are most likely going to scale, right? The main thing that you're known for. Okay. So when I say to you that you need to focus on that core offer that you are known for or want to be known for. The main thing, the crux of your business that you will ultimately scale, right? And so when we think about this core offer thing, is Emery here? Emery last year I put on an embargo because they were constantly creating more offers because they thought that was a ticket to making more money. And I was like, no, stop. Focus on one core thing and start selling it. And shocker, shocker, it worked. So if you want to sell quickly and sell more, you have to have fewer things to sell. You confuse your audience. You confuse yourself. You're trying to do too much, right? And so, first of all, I would love for you to tell me in the chat what you're hearing me say when I say focus on one core offer. Okay. Some of the things I want you to consider. Number 1, pick your core offer to sell in 2026. Number 2, make sure it's clear on your homepage and in your services page. Number 3, make sure there's an easy way to buy it or book a call to hire you. And then number 4, what can you hide on your website or within your offers page so you're not confusing and overwhelming people? We're really directing people to one core offer. And don't worry, you can come back to it. I'm not saying to erase it. I'm just saying 2026, what are you focused on selling? Baron, you were talking about okay. So online products, more than likely, those things also don't apply to digital businesses, online businesses. Online businesses are a very unique and new way of doing business that really, really took off during the pandemic. So online businesses, again, it depends if there's any sort of sales call. If there's no sales call involved, it's all done passively. It's all done through your online marketing and your email funnels, your email sequences. Again, that's a really specific strategy. Potentially, you could do better. Those might do better with ads, maybe once you get your funnels worked out. So it's a different business model, right? Online business is a different business model than a service-based business. It's different than a product-based business, not digital products, but physical products. These are all different business models. So if you have two different business models, that means you essentially have two different businesses that are going to have different marketing and sales strategies. So you might want to decide to focus on just one branch of your business for this year, so that you can get some money in the door. Freaked out. I have printables, then I provide services for business and other brands. So same thing. I'm going to say the same thing, walk and paddle, that I just said to Baron. Yeah. You have to decide, sort of like, you got to decide what you want to be known for, what the future of your business is, where you want the bulk of your revenue coming from, and then where you're going to focus, right? Every time I look at the cash flow forecast, it kind of makes me anxious. Do you have tips to work on that? Baron, are you pre-revenue? Because if you are, you wouldn't really have cash flow forecasts. Like, you wouldn't have that yet. And that's what I'm talking about. That kind of stuff is not geared towards online businesses. That kind of stuff is not geared necessarily towards service-based businesses within their first 3 years, because you would have no way of forecasting that. In order to forecast your cash flow, you have to know how to get sales and have sales coming in consistently, and know your plan for your, like, what your business expenses are going to be, because cash flow forecasting is just, what are my expenses, what are we expecting to sell, how are we selling it, right? Yeah. Yeah. So cash flow forecasting, if you're anxious about if you're anxious about cash flow forecasting, Baron, we got to work on a founder mindset here. Right? Because that's like saying I get anxious when I need to decide what to get for groceries for this week, right? Cash flow forecasting is simply saying, based on this proven track record we have, we can expect to make this much in sales, and expect to spend this much in expenses, right? So if it's making you anxious, that's pointing to something different, because cash flow forecasting is quite emotionless. It's an emotionless, mathematical equation, right? So there's something else going on there that needs addressing, and that's where some great business coaching might come in. And if you need a great business coach, let me know, because we've got a couple on our team. Okay, so number 2, we got to get going. Number 2, focus on networking. Oh, shocker! Lindsay's telling me to focus on networking. Networking is the single most important activity a service-based business will do in the first 5 years of their business. And I say it over and over and over again. It is the fastest way to get clients. Hands down, the fastest way to get clients. It's what allows you to build your referral partnerships, your collaborations. It's what gives you access to leaders and their stages and their communities, their audiences, right? It's what helps you build your biz besties, so you got a good support network, right? It is the most important thing that you will do in your business. All right. I love networking. Yes. And networking can look like a bunch of different things, right? I got some videos for you here. There's 2 links there. Networking can be in online communities, in-person communities, at events, online events. It can be in the DMs, it can be on social media. It can be asking for introductions from your existing network. There's so many ways that we network. Networking is literally just turning strangers into friends, nurturing those friendships over time, right? One of my clients, we had a session yesterday, and when we were talking about the networking piece, we did a little bit differently than how I would do traditional networking strategy. For her, it was very much about, okay, what are the things that interest you? Because we're building more of a personal brand for her versus like an accountant or something who's looking for accounting clients, right? Or a mortgage broker is looking for mortgage broker clients, right? Like, we're building a bit of a personal brand for her. And so I was like, she's going to do a, what's it called? A brainstorming, brain mapping thing. And I was like, you're in the center, because you're the personal brand. You're the brand here. You're the person. And from that, all the things that you like and you are interested in, you do. And then look at all those things and go, great, where can I connect with people in these spaces? Because I'm looking for people where there's values alignment, hobby alignment, interest alignment, right? So networking is not some stodgy, gross, icky thing. It's literally going out and finding the people that make sense to connect with. So in those networking videos I just shared with you, you can learn more about that, right? But like I said, I say this all the time, and entrepreneurs don't take it seriously. right? You need to think about the people you want to build relationships with, start connecting with them. Now, if you don't know how, you can join my Patreon community. I put the QR code up there. I recommend coming in at the highest level, at the business nerd level, so you can join our hot seat business coaching and we can talk about your networking strategy. All right. But I'm going to give you some tough love right now, friends. I'm going to give you some tough love as if I haven't been this entire time. All right. Just because you don't know how to network or you feel intimidated by it or you feel tired by it, that's not an excuse for you not to do it. You need to network. I'm telling you, you need to build your networks as a service based business. That's what's up. So, I want you to check in where you might be avoiding it or making excuses or not doing the thing and get over it because I need you networking. Tell us in the chat what you heard me say. Tell me how that landed. Tell me what you're thinking. Yeah, you love networking too. Yes, networking is everything. ABN, always be networking. I'm networking and testing us through that. Can you explain the difference between service-based and online-based business? Yeah, a service-based business provides a service in exchange for money. An online business sells something online in exchange for money. Yeah. So an online business would be something like someone that sells like it could be an online membership, it could be digital products like a course or a like downloadables, right? A service-based business is someone that provides a service. So like we provide scaling services. So whatever you need, like here, let me show you. Let me show you. Share. Wunderbar. All right. So like all the things, like when you come and work with us, right? Like we provide services. Okay. So what? Oh my gosh, you guys, guess what? I had a meeting that started in 5 minutes and I just got a cancellation. She just canceled it. Sweet. We can go a little bit longer. Hell yeah. Anyways, we can do more questions. Give me your questions. Okay. So a service-based business provides services. An online business provides something online. Generally, there is no sales call required. You're not necessarily engaging with your customer in any kind of way, right? Doesn't mean that's passive, by the way, friends. Passive, what do we say? Passive revenue is anything but passive. There's no such thing. You will always be having to market and sell. Even if you're not involved in the actual delivery, you will always be having to market and sell. All right. So, yeah, what did we hear when we talked about networking? Yeah. If you're open to business coaching, but money is tight, then I'm going to tell you to come join us on Patreon. Sign up at the highest level, the business nerd level, and you can join our group business coaching every month. By the way, friends, if you're a part of the Free Sales community already, yes, this is going to shift over there. I'm working on the most seamless, easiest way to make that happen. So bear with me. But right now, I've got that. So the prices for like the community and the patron, they're going to be going up. Existing members, your price is going to be locked in at where it's at. Your price is not going to increase. That also means for new folks joining, you can get the current price because it is going to be going up. So come and join the business nerd level and commit to doing the work that I'm sending you, doing the challenges I'm sending you, joining our live sessions. Commit to it. Commit to taking full advantage. It is an amazing price for a ton of support, but it doesn't matter if you're not going to use it. So commit to that. Okay. All right. What else have we got here? What's the difference between Patreon? The Patreon offers. Yes. Okay. So there we go. So I just told you. Yeah. So it's going to be the same. It's literally going to be the exact same. It's just on a different platform. Just so that you all know, the reason I'm moving from where we are now to Patreon is because the administrative toll of where we are now is high, and Patreon, it's all done for me. So I pay a fee to Patreon, right? But the work is done for me. Okay. So we're going to move over there where the admin toll on me is significantly less, but it's going to be the exact same. Okay. So in that, if you're at the highest level, the business nerd level, that's what you currently have. I think there's actually a little more too. Now I think I threw a few more things in, but you're going to get access to weekly sales challenges with some scripts, right? You're going to get our hot seat business coaching every month. Obviously, we have the community in there to connect with people, to engage and hang out with people, to connect offline, right? There's a few other things. Yeah. One of the other things that I'm doing with the business nerd level is I'm going to be bringing on more guest experts this year. People at the business nerd level and above are going to get access to you're going to join us live, and you're going to get Q&A time with the expert that folks who are not business nerds are not going to get. They'll get the replay. The replay will be public for everybody, but you're going to get time for Q&A with them. So it's another perk to being a business nerd. I'm bringing in more experts. Okay, guys. Wait, hang on. Did I miss anything? Is it always on Tuesdays? Yeah, it's on the last Tuesday of the month. Yeah. So you can figure out if you can take off, 15, 20 minutes to come ask your question. And if you can't, that's okay, right? But yeah, it's on Tuesdays. You can also, by the way, submit your questions, and I will do my best to answer. It can be kind of hard if you're not there with me live, but I'll do my best to answer your question as well. But yeah, that's one of those things where if you can get some time off, because you can tell me, like you can say, Lindsay, I got 15 minutes. Can I go first? Yes, you will go first, right? So if you can sneak in for 15 minutes, fantastic. And then you can watch the replay to see all the other questions people asked, how we answered it. The thing that's beautiful with the group is that people will ask the same question as you. So you're able to get the answer even if you didn't ask the question. Also, people will ask questions you didn't think to ask, right? The group learning is the best. Yeah, business nerds. Heck yeah, we are. So I'm hoping that you won't have to. So bear with me on that. That'll come next week. I'm trying to find, because what I don't want people to have to do is, like, if you just paid, then you got to pay again. So I'm figuring that out. So bear with me, okay? But yes, we're gonna move over. But hold your horses. Okay. All right. So tip number three, do more speaking gigs. Dun, 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 dun. Do more speaking gigs. Shocker. And so when I talk about those, friends, I am talking about the free lead generating speaking gigs. So if you're doing paid speaking gigs, paid keynotes, paid workshops, that's actually a revenue stream. So if it's a revenue stream, then that's going to be maybe your focus for this year. Or it's just going to be a bonus. You're going to offer it, you're going to do it, but maybe it's not your focus, but it is there and you do make money from that. And that will have its own marketing and sales strategy. Generally, it's going to be networking, right? Booking conversations and calls, and then getting yourself paid to speak, right? But what I'm talking about in this case is lead generation speaking. This is when you are speaking for free into other people's audiences to get visibility, to get exposure, to get people onto your email list or onto a sales call, right? And you know how they're like, oh, exposure doesn't pay my bills. Yes, it does if you're doing it right. So make sure that whatever speaking you're doing, it's into the right audiences where your ideal customers hanging out, right? You're talking about the things that you're known for, that they care about, and that there's a sales funnel attached, right? Join my email list, get my lead magnet, book a call, whatever that is for your business, right? So some examples of speaking gigs can look like podcasts, right? Live videos like YouTube Live, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok Lives, right? Keynotes, workshops, trainings, lunch and learns, panels, online summits. There's lots of ways you can get yourself out there, right? This is also where collaborations come in handy, which is why we network to find collaboration partners and do collaborations so that we're both building each other's audiences, right? Now, this doesn't mean talking to your own audience. I don't mean you do a workshop and get people there. You go live on your channel. That is content marketing. That's something different. I'm talking about getting into other people's audiences, right? And letting the world know that you exist. You're letting your ideal customer know that you exist, and then bringing them into your world. Okay. So, I think a little hiccup. Tell me what you're hearing when I say that. When I say more public speaking, what did you hear me say? Hang on, I'm gonna read the comments here. Thanks for, yeah. On the side. Oh, whoops. Okay. Yeah. I know. Sorry for that. I don't know. I don't know why the wrong link went out. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But see, that's an example of there's admin burden and things that can go wrong, and I don't even know until it happens. And it's just like, ugh, I gotta get everything amalgamated into one singular place. Oh boy. But that's, friends, again, this is when I talk about lead by example, here is an example of, right? My business trajectory went here. That pandemic hit, rocked me sideways. Things went here, and things started to get a little messy in my back end because I was so busy doing all the things that I wasn't like, I didn't have the time. Like, what did I say? I said I've been trying to get an email out since Monday, and here we are at Friday because it's just so busy, right? The great thing, by the way, because I'm doing lots of great interviews with VAs and bringing admin assistants into my world to work with your businesses. And I'm also finding some great ones for mine. Thank God. Let's go. Yes. Being a guest on other people's podcast is a great example. I love that. Okay. So if you're joining the IC Free Sales community, you're going to come to Patreon. Okay. If you if you go, like, you can't even, I don't even think you shouldn't even be able to access it from my site anymore. It's all going to direct you to Patreon. If you're already a member, wait, wait, I'm going to get it figured out. I'm going to get you all moved over. I'm going to communicate that and make it as seamless as possible. So hold your horses. Okay. But if you're not yet a member, come on to Patreon. And if you do join a Patreon and you're like, there's nobody here, hang on, give me a beat for everyone to get moved over. There's content there. The people just aren't all there yet. They're coming. Kaylin, I don't know what you're lolling at, but I'm going to say you're lolling at me because it's getting chaotic up in here. All right. What about about, what about, what about me speaking gigs in front of a group? Or do you mean showing up as an expert in speaking? I need to build that up. Okay. Oh, what about about me speaking gigs? Um, Generally, no. Generally, your speaking gig is not going to be an about you. It's about what the audience wants to learn, right? So if I'm on, like, on a podcast, generally a podcast is more storytelling than teaching. So I might share, like because some of the other day was like, how did you get into this? And I'm like, well, I was raised in it. I was raised by business owners. I've been a business development nerd and a sales nerd since I was 10 years old. I've been developing my own sales system and marketing systems and business development systems since I was probably 16, right? And so, you might go onto a podcast and someone says, how do you get into this? And that's that time to talk about your stories and your experience. So that'll be more so about you. But if you're like doing a guest workshop for somebody, or you're doing a panel, or you're on a lunch and learn or something, right? That's going to be more so teaching. You're going to teach your expertise. So you remember that speaking is about what the audience wants, what the audience, how they're going to benefit, right? When people do ask me anythings or about me, those are generally people with a pretty big following, a pretty big audience, a reputation for whatever subject matter expertise, right? If you're still new and don't really have that audience, you're not probably going to be doing ask me anythings, because no one knows you yet. To be blunt, nobody cares, to be perfectly blunt, right? But what you can be doing is yeah, getting yourself on podcasts, collaborating on some, like, YouTube lives or TikTok lives. I love TikTok lives. If you're not on TikTok, do the TikTok live thing. I don't do it for my business because my business account's not very active. I'm gonna probably work on that this year. But I do it under my other account, my Fantastical Fatty account. I used to go live there all the time. It's so fun. It's a very different, every platform you go live on is a totally different beast. Do I recommend going live on Instagram? Not really. There's other places to go live that are more effective, where people use the platform like YouTube to watch live videos. People don't really use Instagram to watch live videos. Anyways, now we're getting into strategy. But for you, I wouldn't recommend an about me. I would think about, who are the people, what are the communities, where are the influencers that your audience exists in, your ideal customer exists in. How do I reach out and build relationships with those people to be able to speak into those audiences? Okay. Yeah. Being guest on Turns podcast. I think I said about that. Yeah. More connected with public speaking comes from networking. People always ask me, how do you get so much, how to get speaking gigs? How do you get this? How'd you get, guys, networking, whether it's that I build a relationship, or someone recommends me. I'm going to be a part of an online summit this year that somebody in my network recommended me for. Who do you know who is an expert in sales? You need to talk to Lindsay, right? By the way, friends, we're going to be going live. Hang on, let me get it. I meant to grab that link today. Hang on, hang on. We're going to be going live together on her YouTube channel on Monday. And she's kind of like me. there's no, she's like, if I get to it, I'll try to make a little invite thing. Neither of us got to it. But here it is, Danielle Ryan. If you don't already follow her, please do. She's also super active on like TikTok and Instagram. We're going to be going live. Let me share really quickly. Let me share her thing here. There we go. So this is Danielle. I am obsessed. So Danielle actually saw me speak a couple of years ago on a stage at the Startup Canada tour. And I was talking about ethical marketing and sales. And so she came up to me after. She's like, "Oh my God, will you be a guest on my YouTube?" It's taken 2 years, but it's happening. It's happening. But yeah, Danielle really calls out like online business scams, coaching scams, marketing scams. Her channel is a riot. And I mean, it's right up my alley. You know that. You know it. Anyway, so we're going to be going live on Monday, I think at 4 p.m. Pacific. Let me just double check. Monday at 4 p.m. Pacific. Yes. So we're going to go live. I don't know how long it'll be. We'll see how long it's going to be. We're going to have a good time and we're going to be doing reaction. So she's going to bring a bunch of stuff for me to react to and we're going to react. So if you love the Lindsay rant, the spicy Lindsay, come and join us. So as always, you'll just click, it'll show a little thing here, I think, or it'll say like live or something. Just click it and come hang out. So yeah, go follow Danielle and then join us on Monday. Well, hang on. Those are my notes. All right. Perfect. All right. Okay, Leonie, speaking to other people's audiences who would be attracted to what you offer. Yes. Perfect. Yeah. That you're just answering the question, right? You're not asking me one, right? All right. Cool. Starting a podcast. Okay, Alex, great question. Starting a podcast. That's not public speaking, that's content creation. If you're going to start a podcast, yes, but there's a time and a place in your scaling and growth journey. And we don't want to do it too soon because a podcast is a lot of work. And so you have to remember that every hour that you take away from doing sales and business development is less revenue your company can generate to be able to hire the people. So generally with podcasts, I don't recommend starting a podcast until you can afford to hire someone to do the bulk of the behind the scenes work for you. And you just have to show up and record. Okay. I don't recommend unless you have a full-time job, you're well funded in your life, and you're less focused on building a business and more focused on becoming a content creator and online personality. So if your business is content creator and online personality, then start your podcast. If you have other services or products to sell, your business is not content creator. It is service provider, right? It is product seller. Okay. So then the podcast is not your revenue stream. The podcast is a marketing tool. Right? So you will get there when your business revenue can justify the expense of hiring somebody or paying you to do it, which means the money has to be making a business making enough money that it can pay you to do it. Because in that case, you're going to put podcast editor, podcast manager, social media manager, you're going to put that cap on. Administrator, because you're administrative assistant, because you'll have to deal with getting guests and all that kind of stuff, right? So those are all the hats that you're going to wear if you do a podcast. So your business has to be able to pay you. So it has to have money coming in. You see what I'm saying? All right. Great question. Okay. Tip number 4. Here's a big one. I want you to be aiming to do at least 10 sales calls per week. I'll give you a moment to freak out. 10 sales calls per week, okay? A sales call is anytime you have a one-on-one conversation with somebody who is a potential client. All right? That might look like a discovery call, a strategy call, a get to know you call, a networking call, a straight up sales call. They've said, "I want to talk about working with you." All right? It can have many different names, but it's when you and a potential client are talking. And you might be sitting here going, 10 a week? Yes. First of all, don't panic about the time. Let's do the math. 10 minutes, sorry, 10 times 30-minute calls. What is that? I did the math. 5 hours. I got the math here. That's 5 hours. So if you split that over 5 days, it's an hour a day. All right. And no, your sales calls should not be really be, they shouldn't be more than 30 minutes unless they are some sort of consultation that you're charging for. I don't know. I recommend sales calls, you stick to 30 minutes. Okay. Your sales calls are not about cold calling people and trying to sell. It's based off of your networking, your referrals, right? Introductions, your public speaking gigs, your email list. It's based off of that and people contacting you or you booking the call with them when you meet initially, at a networking event or whatever, you book the call or they book with you. But it's a what we would call a warm market or a warm lead. It's not a stranger, it's not cold. They know who you are and what you're about more or less. All right? You wanna be aiming for 10 of those every single month. And this is another rant I had last year, right? Before my other rant where I said y'all broke me. I said, if you are not selling, you are not building a business. When Baron asked what her role was, if your business isn't making money consistently yet, your role is salesperson. Your role is salesperson and practitioner. Okay. So I have some tools here for you. If you are really uncomfortable with selling, this is the link to get my ick free sales tools. It includes my how to sell without selling video, which is my consent-based sales process. It includes my perfect sales free sales call template, which is how to do a sales call that doesn't feel like a sales call. It includes 45 different scripts to help you open up a sales conversation, right? And move people through. A lot of my stuff, again, what did I say? I've been developing systems since I was a teenager, okay? A lot of my stuff is very systemized, a lot of scripts, templates, things like that, right? So you can grab those right now. And you need to have a goal this year. Unquestionable, no negotiation, no talking yourself out of it. Your goal this year should be to do 10 sales calls per month. They are not all going to lead to sales. They're also not all going to lead to sales right now. Now, I will tell you, if every single person is saying no, something is wrong. We're talking to the wrong people. We're selling the wrong thing. We're pricing it wrong. We're talking about it in the wrong way. Your sales need to be like your sales skills need to be improved. If you're getting a lot of no's, that is an issue. We need to look at why. But people are going to buy now. People are going to buy in a year. People are going to buy in 2 months. Everyone's going to buy when they're. What do we say? People buy if and when they're ready, right? Not based on your time frame. So you have to have a funnel full of people, a pipeline full of people, right? So that you're never ever putting stress on just one person. Yes, I had a great call. They're going to buy for sure. Oh shoot, they didn't buy. I can't pay my rent. No, we need to have a constant flow of sales calls and sales conversations happening because they're going to go off all at different times. Okay. How did that feel to hear me say that? What are the thoughts? What are the thoughts? 10 a week? LOL, probably do 1 a week. You will not grow. That's that. You will not grow your business that way. Yeah. 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 You will not grow. You need to do at least 10 a week. I used to, or sorry, 10, yeah, 10 a week. No, what did I say? 10 a week. Yeah. I used to do 30 a week, friends. Actually, I probably still almost do that, except they're not all sales calls now. There's more networking calls, collaboration meetings, partnership meetings. Yeah. But I used to do 30 a week, no problem, because it's still only like 3 hours a day. People get really freaked out by it, but it's actually not that much. What is I think hard with sales calls, especially if selling is still not your strongest skill yet, is the emotional roller coaster, the adrenaline roller coaster. But that will even out. You won't have that. You'll be able to pop on a call, talk about what you do, get to know people really quickly and easily. Figure it out if you're going to work together or not. Like that just becomes very neutral, but it's okay if it's scary now. That's normal. If selling is a new skill for you. When I used to go to my American Sign Language classes online, I was having anxiety every time it was my turn and I had to do stuff. I was having total anxiety because it's a new skill. Like it's normal to have fear and be anxious and whatever. That's normal, right? Founder mindset, emotional regulation, right? We got to do to support ourselves, but you have to sell. Um, how do you get people to book calls with you? Networking. Networking. You talk to people. Yeah. So how to sell, that's a part of what we do and what we teach. So the thing I recommend that you do, go join the Patreon at the business nerd level. And then if you are here, Leonie, if you're still here, you could talk about what I do with folks. Okay. But if you have the budget, let's book a one-on-one and let's make you a specific sales strategy and action plan for your business. Yes, yeah. I read it wrong. I missed the probably. I'm sorry. Yeah, I figured out what you meant. Yeah. Yes, yes. Thanks for I'm glad that you gave yourself the chance to defend yourself. I did know what you meant. It just took me a second. Yeah, building a business and around homeschooling kids stuff. Exactly. Last time working in my car. Yes. Okay. And this is why when people say, "What is my role? What do I do?" You're a salesperson and practitioner. So if you have limited time, you have to prioritize the things that move the business forward, which is sales, networking, to sales call, to doing the work, or selling the thing. It depends again on your business model and how that works, right? Networking to sales call to doing the thing. Networking to referral to sales call. Networking to public speaking to email list to sales call. Networking to collaboration to email list to sales call. Everything in your business is going to stem from networking. Okay. Unless you are going hard into content marketing, which I do not recommend if you do not know your customer's buying journey, your sales funnels, your sales process, right? Okay. All right. So, tip number 5, our last tip. Ready? It is make your annual, quarterly, and monthly action plans. So your annual plan, okay? That's going to be what is happening in my business this year. By the way, if anybody hasn't signed up yet for Big Bold 2026 tomorrow, that's happening tomorrow. Here is the link. You're welcome to sign up and come and join us. So in the annual planning, that is, first of all, I like people to like block off, when is my holidays? Are my holidays? When are our family things or non, like, what are the things that are happening I have to be aware of? If I'm going to a wedding in June, or I'm getting like, I don't know, knee surgery in April. Okay, we want to know these things. If the kids are off for summer camp and March break and it's winter holidays, right? We want to get those things nailed down first in the annual plan because our capacity is going to be reduced, right? Then we want to know, and this is what Leonie and I did yesterday. Was it yesterday already? I can't remember. That this week, is okay. So when do I have any like events or things that I'm going to be pushing ticket sales for, right? Or do I have any launches coming up? Or is there something I need to get created this year, right? So then we start to go, okay, let's reverse engineer that. When are the due dates? When do I want this done? Right? What am I focused on selling? When are my sales happening if I'm doing any sales this year? Right? Where do I want to do collaborations to do some email list building for a launch I have coming? So that annual plan is looking at what you're focused on selling, what you're focused on doing, and how you're going to like structure your year. And what's great about having an annual plan is when someone comes to you and says, "Hey, do you want to join my online summit happening in May?" You can look and go, "No, I'm going to be in the middle of a big push then for a summer sale I'm doing in June. So I'm going to say no." Right? Or when someone comes to you and says, "Hey, do you want to come and prepare a presentation for this dental association in June?" And you're looking at going at, okay, May is pretty light. Yeah, I have the time and capacity. I have time to prepare a presentation and show up and do it. Right? So it gives you a structure to follow and it helps you say yes and no to things throughout the year. It stops you from getting distracted and pulled in a million different directions. And honestly, if you're really looking at it, it helps you see, am I prioritizing sales and deliverability? Am I prioritizing the things that are going to make money? Or do I have way too many projects and things on here that it's just make work? It's busy work, but I'm not actually going to grow anything. right? You might also put on there, I want to be at a point of hiring a VA by June, an administrative assistant, a virtual assistant by June. So I know I have to make a certain amount of money to be able to afford them. So I'm going to be focused on this, this, and this, and this so that I can get my sales up, right? So your annual plan, your quarterly plans, those now are those like hyper focused sprints. Okay, those are those chunks of time where you're completing a project or you're focused on a upcoming sale or launch or something. You know, there is something where you were hyper focused and you're giving yourselves that 3 month window to kind of sprint and get it done. That's how we make sure projects don't go on forever. That's how we make sure we don't forget about something and forget to promote something, right? So we want to have that quarterly. Now, you don't necessarily need to do the quarterly all up front. You would do now for January, February, March. Or I forget, I just had a client meeting this week. I forget who it is, but they're going away at the end of this month. So we're saying, okay, your year is going to start February 1st. So January, here's a few things you need to do to prepare. And then we're not going to do big pushes or anything here. And then starting in February, you're going to go February, March, April. So again, you get to break up your year however you want, right? But we think about quarterly plans. I'm going to make a 3-month plan. And then finally, your monthly plans. You need a monthly action plan. That's how you get off the what's it called? Like autopilot, where you're just doing the same thing every day, right? You know, every month and things aren't really moving. You've got to go, okay, here's what's happening. Here's my plan. Here's what's happening for this month. What am I focused on selling? What strategies am I using to sell it this month? You know, what are some of my goals for revenue, for sales calls, for public speaking gigs, right? Those monthly action plans, by the way, they happen at the Hot Seat Business Coaching level. You get a monthly action plan and we meet every month in that Hot Seat Business Coaching. We talk about your action plans. What's your action plan? What are you doing this month? Let me review it. Do you have any questions? What's the strategy? Okay. So you need an annual plan. You need to be making yourself quarterly plans each quarter, and you need to be making monthly action plans every single month. Okay. And this is where never mind. Like, this is where, can I show you guys something? Here's the behind the scenes into my world. Here is where I ran out of time and I had to come join you guys. Because did I make my notes right before? Yes, I did. And here's my empty bullet points. So now we're gonna freewheel it, guys. Now we're gonna freewheel it. So I said, if you feel like you're spinning your wheels and going nowhere fast, it is most likely because you were trying to do too much all at once. You're trying to cram too much in. We got to stretch those out, right? What is that quote that we often underestimate? No, sorry. We overestimate what we can accomplish in 1 year, but underestimate what we can accomplish in 3 years, right? And so let's stretch those out and let's get hyper focused, because if you try to do less, like fewer things, you'll get more done if you stay focused, right? So if you feel like you're spinning wheels and going nowhere fast, you're probably trying to do too much at once. We gotta dial it down. Friends, there you have it. I do have one more quick thing to show you if you want me to see it. Oh wait, can I repeat number 4? Sorry. Hey Becky, what's up? How you doing? Happy New Year. I got distracted by something shiny. Number 4, it was aimed to do 10 sales calls per week. Aim to do 10 sales calls per week. You can watch the replay to get this. The other thing, friends, that I am doing, so in our Patreon community, now we have a level, it's $1 a month. All the prices are in USD, by the way, Patreon's in USD. Anyway, it's $1 a month. And what you get for that is access to the community. And I'm giving you my notes. So you get my notes, so you can see my messy notes, my thought processes, my what happens behind the scenes. You're going to get all the links that we talked about. And I have a fill in the blank worksheet that goes along with this. So you can take the things we talk about and actually start to create your own action plan based on it. So you're going to also get that. So it's $1 a month if you haven't. But Becky, did you, Happy New Year. You wish you hadn't asked. Okay, but that tells me a lot. Because we're not going to go there. Okay, so A reminder, if you're part of the free sales community, you don't need to join the Patreon just quite yet. I'm going to flip us all over into the new platform. So pause on that one. Friends, I want to show you one more quick thing. Super fast. Super fast. I'm super excited. So one of the things I also did on my holiday, which again, I don't understand how I watched so much TV, so many movies, went to the gym, hung out with friends, napped, rested, and still got a ton of work done in my business over 3 weeks. I guess that's the benefit of focus, isn't it? So here we go. I want to show you, guess what? I'm obsessed. The podcast and YouTube now is going to be like in one. Has a new brand. It used to be Work Less, Play More. Now it is Playing Big with Lindsay Johnson, getting nerdy on all things entrepreneurship, personal growth, and playing big in your business. I was chatting with a branding friend of mine over the just when my holidays was starting, and we were talking about this. And I was like, "Hey, do you want to make me a brand?" And so here's the new brand. And what's really funny is that I would have never picked these colors or this font in a million years. And it took me a minute, but I was like, you know what? I slept on it. I'm like, oh my God, I'm obsessed. I love it. It's so fun. It's so playful. It's so cute. So this is the new look. I'm so freaking excited. Anyways, I hope you guys love it. You have to let me know if you love it. I love it. But yeah, anyways, there we go. Okay, let's go into a few questions, then we're gonna wrap things up. Here we go. Walk and paddle. Of the 10 sales calls a week, how many is someone typically booking? I only try to get 2 clients a month. I don't want to promise something I'm going to be able to deliver. Okay, so this is a great question because what did we say about why entrepreneurs get stuck in the hustler hamster wheel? Because they can't deliver, right? And so my question would be, you don't have to do it now, but can you hire or outsource somebody to help you deliver? Right? Again, I don't know your goals. I don't know all that, right? Like that would be a bigger conversation. Again, we can book a strategy session, we can talk about it. But if you can only take on 2 clients, is that enough? Again, I can't remember what your services are, but you have to ask, is that enough to build a business on? And if it's not, I got to get more bodies in to deliver services. What is the buying cycle typically? How long do people typically take to make a purchase? Are people okay with waiting until you're done with these clients? Like, is it a finite term that you work with people? So again, that's a question I can't answer because there's so many variables to that question, right? Um, how long someone takes to make a purchase, friends, that's based on them. Like I have clients that we start immediately. I have clients that come back to me a year or two later, right? Sometimes with brand new businesses. People say, okay, I have to get through this thing. Let's talk again in 3 months. Okay. Right. So you're buying your customers, like how they buy and when they buy, that's entirely dependent on them and your business model. Um, yeah, yeah, that's my question. But there's bigger questions there, right? Around the whole, is 2 clients enough for you? And if not, how are we going to get you out of that? Caitlin, oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you're feeling motivated. Hell yeah, it's going to be an epic year, guys. We're going to have so much fun together. So much friggin' fun together. Yes. Okay. I love that. Yes, love it. And oh, I saw Liz. Yeah, of course. Liz is on my YouTube. Liz is on the pod. I think Liz might be on my YouTube twice actually. On the podcast. Yeah, I love me some Liz Wilcox. How to book a strategy session? I will hang on one second. Let me get you a link. So if you want to straight up buy a session, you can buy a session. Hang on. Let me get it. There we go. There's like a million things. There we go. Copy URL. So here's how you buy a session. Oh, you know what? You guys is so funny. I probably have this as a QR code. You can buy a session here. Sessions with me, a single session is $250 and we get it done. So friends, sometimes people mistakenly call me a business coach. I am not a business coach. I'm a business like advisor, a strategist. So you'll fill out some information for me. And then when we sit down, we get right to work. You have a strategy, you have an action plan, you go get to work. We're not really talking necessarily about like feelings or internal barriers to success or where you're getting your own way. If you want a business coach, we have business coaches on the team who can help with that. We're going to talk about your actual strategy and your action plan. So yeah, you can buy a session. They're $250. And if you are wanting to talk, If you're wanting to talk more so about like getting into now my other offers where we're now talking your scaling strategy, we're talking about how you can start hiring people, whatever. Click on there. It's going to bring you to my website and then you can book a call through there. Okay. Okie dokie. Kaylin, you're amazing. You guys are all amazing. You're the fantastic. Yeah. How long there? An hour. No, 75 minutes. Sorry, there's 75 minutes. Because I like a little more time. So you have a little more time to talk and I want to give you lots of space to be able to like talk about stuff. And then we get right to work. So I found an hour was just not quite enough. So there's 75 minutes. Yeah. Yeah. All right, you guys, I'm going to wrap us up here today. Our next shop talk is going to be at the end. Hang on. It's going to be at some point in time. Um, it's always the second Friday of the month. And yes, if you can freaking believe it, it is the second Friday of January already. I'm going to get you the link so you can come and save your seat. I apologize for the wrong links. I honestly don't know why that happened. But if that ever happens again, just come to my YouTube, come and join us live. You guys are business owners, you're industrious. I know you'll figure it out. I'm here on the second Friday of the month at 10 o'clock Pacific. So come and join us. I don't know next month's theme. What should we do for next month's theme? I haven't picked one yet. What do you guys want? Tell me in the chat. What do you want for next month's theme to be? I love talking about things that are like, sometimes I love talking technical, like we talk technical stuff. Other times we talk like mindset stuff. By the way, if you haven't, we have like tons. We did a year's worth last year. So go in and check them out. There's a whole bunch of really fun ones on there. Some of my favorites is around social media killing your business. Another one I really liked what we got into was is friendship and inconvenience. Yes, it is. It's supposed to be. So here's our whole cache of live streams. So come and watch those. There's tons of them. Also, friends, if you want to do me a favor, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you want to share this with your friends, business friends, please share it. Ask them to subscribe, share some videos, watch some videos. Because I started my YouTube channel at the beginning of 2020. And then, as I said, I just got crazy busy. So I'm getting back into it and views help, right? My watch hours, the more they go, the more followers we have, all that stuff helps. And it helps me also like accomplish some of the things I want to accomplish. Like I want to have a YouTube community, but I have to have a certain amount of followers and watch hours before I can do that, right? So like a YouTube subscription. So there's all these really cool things that happen. So please subscribe, watch all my videos, invite your friends to watch. I like this idea of less is more. That's totally something that we can do. Less is more. Actually, that's right. When you save your seat through that Calendly link, it is also going to ask you to share your ideas and what you want me to talk about. So let me go get the roundup from last year. Maybe we'll do a poll. We'll put a poll into the Patreon community. You guys can vote on next month's topic. In the meantime, if you haven't already joined the Patreon, please do. You'll get the worksheet version of this so you can start filling out your own plan for the year. If you're an If Free Sales member, please don't worry about joining Patreon. I'm going to get you moved over there over the next couple of weeks. Otherwise, friends, you are, yeah, heck yeah. I love it because if you watch my older videos, which most of them are older on the videos tab, the live tab is current, but the videos tab, you're going to see some sweet pandemic hair. Anyways, we have Big Bull 2026 happening tomorrow. So you can come and join that if you want. Let me get the link again for you. Let me grab that link. That's a big day. It's a big 4-hour planning day. If you haven't yet done the pre-scale milestones quiz yet, please and go and do that. If you want my If Free Sales tools, if you really are freaked out by selling, it's a skill you still need to develop, go and grab that. Otherwise, yeah, join us on Patreon if you haven't done that. And we will, and Danielle. Hang on, let me grab Danielle. Hang on. Oh my gosh. I could type. Me 3 tries to get to YouTube here. Yeah, come and join. Where is it? come and subscribe to Danielle's channel and join us 4 p.m. Pacific on Friday for a live. We're gonna react to some scammer content. All right, you guys, that's it from me. You are the best. Thank you so much. As always, let's make friggin' 2026 an epic year. Let's do big things together. We'll see you all soon, everyone. How do I end the line? There it is. Everyone forgot